By Sharon Moore. By Sharon Moore. And we're live. Oh, hello. And welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him. I am sitting next to virtually NFL insider James. And us two right here, we're here to make you guys just a little bit of money. Isn't that right, James?
A little bit of money if you followed Jamie recently. A lot of bit of money if you've been following me.
That's a good point. Recap of week 14, James. Who's hotter than us?
Nobody.
Nobody.
For you there. Who has more coaches arrested in their program history than Michigan in the last year? Nobody. We're going to be referencing Jim Harbaugh. Shout out Sharon Moore. My God, man, keep it in your pants.
Jim Harbaugh sure knows when to get out, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He knows the right time, the right place to say, hey, big scandal's coming. Time for me to leave for greener pastures. I'm going to go play with a quarterback with 10-inch hands who we have on the slate today. Week 15 slate is on the way. We got a 5-game slate, but we got to recap how red hot we are, James, right? Yeah. Best bet of the week, virtually automatic at this point. In the second half of the season, it's been every single time, except for when Baker Mayfield goes down in like the first quarter with an AC sprain and doesn't play the rest of the game. We don't hit that over, but it was close.
Besides acts of God is what you meant to say, Jamie.
Exactly. That is the only way Baker Mayfield doesn't finish a game is when there is an act of God getting involved. Our best bet of the week was the Dallas Lions over, which went to, I believe, 74 total points, which is like 20 more points than we needed. So that's good news. Steelers over the Ravens. I had the Steelers at +6. You had that money line, James, at like +250 or something like that. Pretty good. Texans over Chiefs. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Chargers. I had the Chargers, which of course covered. They were an underdog for me. And you had the under 41.5, which you hit, James. Are you aware of this?
What? I thought I lost once it went to overtime.
No, the game finished
field goal, so it was 41.5. Wow. I marked it
22-19. You thought that you didn't hit it because you personally bet 40.5, but I shopped those lines for you, and I told you, actually, James, I have a 41.5 for you. So what's the moral of the story, James, to that?
Don't bet on Monday at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Well, I mean, you know, bet on the games that are going to move away from your favor, but that's harder to predict sometimes than other times. The only miss we both had, we were both on the Commanders, who embarrassed themselves against the Minnesota Vikings, and that was the only reason I didn't want them to be our best bet of the week. Well, I cited at the end of the episode, I was like, that Vikings defense might just take over, and they did.
Incredible.
Pretty good there for the Minnesota Vikings defense. Every once in a while, they run into a pretty good performance there in Minnesota. James, I think you lead our matchup by 2 weeks. Every single week, James presents us a slate of games. I have a force bet in each one of those games. I don't know what he is going to pick. And with those stipulations, I kicked his ass last year, which is why I am the holder of the hammer of truth and justice, but it's slipping away from my grip. I feel my grip weakening on the hammer of truth and justice as we're getting late here in the season. Not mathematically eliminated yet, just like my Detroit Lions. There is still some hope. So let's see what I can do this week. By the way, while we're recapping, all 4 of my fantasy football teams in the playoffs. How you like that, James? How's your fantasy football season working out for you?
It's going great until Daniel Jones went down, and then they didn't put him on IR fast enough to me to pick up Phillip Rivers and in our dynasty league, and I'm upset about it.
I think Riley's starting this week.
I don't know.
He practiced.
I don't know. I want to be the guy who owns Phillip Rivers in the playoffs.
That would be sweet.
Yeah,
guy's got 10 kids,
which makes it even worse. That even just digs it in a little bit more.
Guy reproduces, and he only has sex with his wife, which is, I guess, something that's commendable nowadays in the football sphere. Just hey, people at home, if you have a wife, only have sex with that wife. Don't have sex with anybody else. Unless you have permission, if she's into that sort of thing, I guess that's cool. But I don't think Sharon Moore had that permission based on his crash out allegedly that occurred after everything kind of came crumbling down. And there was a guy who tweeted in a comment section randomly. He had the inside scoop on this, James. On December 3rd, last Wednesday, the tweet now has like 6 million views. It's like a reply. He called it, and he posted the picture of the chick that Moore was getting with. So we need to get that guy on the program. That guy's a good. We got a SEC insider that I'm sitting next to right now, NFL insider that I'm sitting next to right now. We need a Big Ten insider on the show. Maybe I call that guy.
Just goes to show you Big Ten's a lot worse at covering up the scandals in the SEC. I'll tell you
that. Moving on to our slate, James. Oh, I should play a sound effect, right?
Absolutely. Money Train, the Gong. Which one?
I haven't been playing these sound effects in a good while. Happy to have you here, James. And now, all aboard the Money Train. Got to get those nice little effects in, like Mr. Peanut, #1 VTuber of the year. If you're familiar with the Burnt Peanut on YouTube or Twitch, and if you don't, I highly recommend that you do. Look into it, James. Look into it, James. Right. On Twitch, playing a lot of Arc Raiders, a little bit Tarkov nowadays. Anyways, let's talk about football, huh?
6-7
on our slate, James. We've got the Ravens at the Bengals. Bengals are 2.5-point underdogs at home. They're getting 2.5 points. Over at the 51.5 or 52.5. Freezing cold game. 10 degrees. Time of kickoff. Very cold for this one. James, what do you got?
Well, looking at statistical analysis here, these teams not as far off as I thought they would be. I definitely expected the Cincinnati Bengals to be below the Baltimore Ravens, but they were pretty close. And the other thing you have to talk about here is most of the Bengals statistics have been provided Joe Burrow list. He's slinging the football. He looks pretty good. This Ravens team is collapsing faster than the Michigan Athletic Department. So I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm going to take them at plus 125.
So you are going to be taking the Bengals underdog, that money line at plus 125, which has been treating James. I've talked a lot of shit about you taking those money lines in the NFL, James. I think it's a bad idea. I still don't recommend it in the long term. But hey, you're beating me, and you got the hammer of truth and justice, and you can tell me what to bet and what not to bet if you do, in fact, get to that point. What do they call Joe Burrow in cold weather games? They call him Joe Burr because he's so frosty and good under pressure when it's cold. I looked into it, James. A lot of those games where Joe Burr got his name, actually not that cold. Oh, no. Snow was on the ground, but it wasn't that cold. It was 30 degrees, 25 degrees. His coldest weather game that he has played in was 22 degrees, and that was the worst performance he's had out of the 3 coldest games that he has played in. 30 degrees, 20. T. Higgins had a good game in that cold game, but Joe Burrow overall actually did not. When we get into the cold weather, James, what do we want to measure? Hand size, right? Joe Burrow, 9-inch hands. Lamar Jackson, 9.5-inch hands. Reason, and that reason only. Give me the Ravens at minus 2.5. They're covering as a road favorite in Cincinnati.
Wow.
Moving on. Wow. To our next game on our slate, 2nd of 5. We've got the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are heavy favorites at home, 5 or 5.5 points. Over-unders at the 41.5. Another cold game. This one, 18 degrees at kick. Chargers, Chiefs, what do you got on this one, James?
Wow. I just can't bet on the Chiefs. As an NFL insider, the locker room is in shambles. Mm-hmm. As Taylor Swift would say, we are never, ever getting back together after this season. That's what I'm hearing. So I think this Chiefs team is about to put a nail in the coffin. I think they're going to go ahead and tank for the draft pick for the rest of the year after they lose to these Chargers and the irreparable Jim Harbaugh leading the way. I have them at plus 185.
Okay. So big money line bet there for the James. Last week, what did we talk about with the Chiefs, where we both picked the Texans to beat them? Chiefs report card, Player Association report card, always terrible. The team actually does not enjoy playing for the Chiefs. It's amazing that they've done so well with what they have, with the facility, with their owner, with everything around the organization outside of Patrick Mahomes and outside of Andy Reid. Those are the two things that have been keeping the Chiefs above water. And winning cures a lot of ailments, but they're not winning. What else do we talk about? The refs aren't coming to save them anymore, are they? It sure is interesting how well the Chiefs look when they are playing fairly officiated games, isn't it, James? So, yeah, I'm going to have to definitely agree with you here. Mahomes, of course, can play in the cold. I don't have to prove anybody that. Can Justin Herbert play in the cold, James?
Not seen it in his college career. Maybe seen it in his professional career.
We have not seen Herbert play. Obviously, an LA lad, played in some probably rainy weather in college.
Never rains in Austin Stadium is what they say in Eugene.
That is what they say. That is what they say. Yeah. Anyways, James, how big are his hands?
I heard somebody threw out earlier.
Jim Harbaugh size hands on Justin Herbert, 10 inches. All right, that's why Jim loves him so much. Loves high-fiving that big hand. So I'm not worried about him playing in the cold weather in Kansas City. Chargers have a better defense. Chiefs have a better offense. There's no reason the Chiefs should be this massive favorite at home at this point in the season. Omari and Hampton all the way back. Chiefs don't have a running back. Chargers have a couple good ones. Trey Harris might break out this game.
Wow.
That's all I'll say about that. Give me the Chargers at plus 5.5. Moving on to our next game on our slate, the Commanders at the Giants. The Giants are 2 or 2.5 point favorites at home. The over-under is set to 46.5 or 47.5. 30 degrees, chance of snow. Jaden Daniels might play. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. He was limited in practice on Wednesday. What do you got on Commanders Giants, James?
I've officially got him not playing on my book, which will factor into this bet. I'm excited for this game because I think it might be Marcus Mariota versus Jameis Winston, who last time these two played against each other was in a college football playoff game, Florida State versus Oregon. And if you remember how that one ended, it ended with no means no. One of the greatest celebrations of all time. Those three players should not have been suspended. They should have been awarded additional medals for making such a great chant. I've got the Commanders winning this game. I think the end of the day, they were going to see a classic Jameis game where he throws a lot of touchdowns, but he also throws a lot of picks. And I think that that turnover differential will end up going the Commanders route.
Taking the Commanders on this one, James. That's pretty interesting. These are, I would like to bet aside on this one, but I can't because these are the two worst defenses in the NFL. Giants last 5 games, 4 out of those 5 have gone over or at 47.5 points. The Commanders last 5 games, 3 out of the 5 have gone to 47 or more points. The over-under is set to 46.5 if you shop those lines. So for that reason, I'm going to take the over 46.5 points. Both of these defenses can't stop shit. Both of these offenses might be able to do something. Who knows? And if we get a Jameis Winston walking out onto the field for the start of this game, I'm counting my money as he is being announced, as Russell Wilson is taking that coin toss, because he is, of course, still captain of the team. Got to keep that in mind.
Oh, captain, my captain.
So I'm taking over 46.5 on the Commanders Giants game. Next game on our slate, we've agreed on the Chargers.
Agreed on the Chargers.
Okay, I like that. I like where we're at.
Me too.
Next game on our slate will be my Detroit Lions going up against the Rams at LA. The Rams are 5.5 or 6-point favorites at home. The over-under set to 54.5 or 55.5. This, of course, is a Goff homecoming. I do not believe he's played at LA at least in a meaningful game that I can remember since he's been traded from the Rams to the Lions in the Stafford and Goff Swibbity swap. Davante Adams, DNP on Wednesday, listed with a hamstring injury. Oh. He's their whole goal line offense, James. What do you got on this one? Lions, Rams.
Should have installed a chiropractic office in his house instead of a Taco Bell. Probably would have helped. Taking a look at these statistics, these teams are not far off at all. And they're definitely not 4.5 to 5 points off. Throw that on top of it being Los Angeles, the only stadium without a home field advantage, where it in fact rains indoors, unfortunately. What a great architectural blunder that was.
Brilliant out of the LA architects.
Love it. Based on that skyline, I can see why they're not that good. I've got to say one thing as well. Dan Campbell 100% is going to try and win this game. I think we'll see him go through every down. I think we see 0 punts out of these Detroit Lions. I might not be joking about that. I'm taking the Lions at plus 240. Let's see him win this game, and let's see him pull it off.
Music to my ears. This will be, assuming my wife doesn't go into labor before then, our live watch party of the week. So you can watch me sweating out this bet at 3:30 this Sunday. I agree with you. I think Dan Campbell is going to try to win this game, James. I think there's a 100% chance that Dan Campbell tries to win this game. And I think this game means more to the Detroit Lions than it does to the Rams. Rams already have 10 wins. They're looking pretty sitting at the top of their division. Lions, not the same case there. And like you said, I think these teams are pretty similar. The Lions and the Rams have very similar offense in terms of EPA, in terms of scoring per game. And the Rams have a slight edge on defense, but the Lions defense is getting pretty healthy. Muhammad just won Defensive Player of the Week or whatever with 3 sacks in a game where Aiden Hutchinson was getting pancake blocked by tight ends against the Cowboys last week. That was fun to watch, especially after seeing Myles Garrett basically break an NFL record through whatever 14 weeks of a season. Anyways, making less money than Aiden Hutchinson. Anyways, I'm not upset about it at all. I love Aiden Hutchinson. I have like 3 of his jerseys. So I'm not even close to being upset about Aiden getting pancaked on every fucking play when Myles Garrett doesn't look like the same human that Aiden Hutchinson does. Anyways, I'm not mad about it. Okay. This game means more to the Detroit Lions. Goff played his best game of the season against the Cowboys, who are a top 10 pressure rate team in the NFL. That's been the big knock on Jared Goff this season, is he's not great under pressure, when he has actually been statistically over the past 3 seasons very good under pressure, one of the best under pressure quarterbacks in the NFL. Maybe with the new offensive coordinator change, with Dan Campbell kind of getting in a groove of his play calling with his readers on, maybe that's why Jared Goff is now a little bit more comfortable under pressure, because he's been healthy as far as I can tell. He's a new father of a nice, beautiful daughter. So why wouldn't he be playing well under pressure when he goes home and he's under pressure, I'm sure, every single day of the week? I think Adams being out severely affect the Rams' ability to score on the goal line. Lions good at stopping the run, especially on the goal line. So I would expect the Rams to struggle scoring the touchdowns. And if you're going to cover 6 points against the Lions, you better be scoring a ton of touchdowns. Okay. So if you like the Rams, you better be picking that over, because you know the Lions are going to put up 30 points if the Rams put up 40, right? So the over, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think the Rams might really struggle to score in this one, which is what's keeping me off the over. And I went into this one fully expecting myself as a Lions fan to be giving up on the Lions at this part of the season. Picking the spread 6 points is too tasty, too juicy for me to get on one of the best teams in the NFL. Nobody believes him anymore, which is exactly where the Lions like to be. They don't play well when everyone's picking them as the number 1 power-rated team in the league, which they were through like 5 weeks of this season. They're not anymore. Nobody believes in them. Not even Pat McAfee believes in him. Not even Evan Foxy believes in him anymore. So give me the Lions. Give me my +6. Famous last words. All right. Moving on to our final game of the slate. This is our first slate out of you, James, where we do not have a true nighttime primetime game. So a little bit of out of character for you, but we do have some like primetime 3:30 games for our viewers. Packers at the Broncos. The Broncos at home are getting 2 or 2.5 points. The over-under set to 42.5 or 43 points. Warm. I thought it was cold in Denver this time of year. 55 degrees at kick. Weird. I'm not a meteorologist, but I thought it was supposed to be cold up in Mile High, James. What do you got on this one?
Well, maybe some of us didn't pick primetime games because we're busy during every primetime this week. James's personal calendar affects what bets do or don't come up. But I looked at the teams here. I expected Green Bay to blow me out of the water statistically They definitely were much higher, but I wasn't as far of a difference as I was expecting when I came into this one. I think that the Denver Broncos at home, one, they have a chance to really get back into the divisional race, which is important for them here, especially with the Chargers and Chiefs playing each other. Two, it's Sean Payton. Sean Payton loves winning home games. He's home field advantage coach of the year, I would say. And with all those things factoring in here, we also have a final plus money line. And what would this week be if I didn't take 5 money line bets? So I'm going to take the Broncos at plus 125.
That's just classic James betting for you there. Taking the Broncos at plus money at home. Broncos very healthy according to their injury report. Sean Payton, I don't know if I believe him. Sometimes I feel like he might cheat on that injury report, but he's got like 3 guys listed. The Packers, not the same case. They have like their entire team listed as limited participants on practice on Wednesday. I assume a lot of them will end up playing, but I think those injuries will start to come back to bite them in this one over there in Denver. Packers, better offense. Broncos, better defense. Like you said, Packers are slightly better as a football team. But when you take into account, I've been to Denver. They've got great home field advantage. They are probably one of the most knowledgeable fan bases I have ever been subject to. You pop in an Uber and talk serious ball with any Uber driver in Denver. They'll get into the nitty gritty of how Bo Nix is looking. They might even bring up EPA, James. They are a knowledgeable fan base, and they've got a team right now that are playing for a playoff and Super Bowl berth this season. So I believe that they're going to get out there and they're going to get after these Packers who have been winning games, but as I think I just buffered here. Did you hear me all right?
No, you buffered.
Okay.
You went as they. You just want some
as they. I don't know what I was saying. Anyways,
as they're about to roll in and win this game was what you were going to say.
Yeah, Broncos are going to win this game. Packers are, I don't think, going to win this game. So for that reason, give me the Broncos at plus 2.5.
Oh, boo. Money line. Money line.
I don't want to bet that as our best bet of the week. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. Lions.
Lions,
I mean, my
agree or Chargers slant agree are your choices here. And I think your heart is too much into the Lions that you can do that. You got to be impartial with your best bet of the week, and I say bet the Chargers is our best bet of the week.
I really like the Chargers. I really like that pick. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Chiefs are banged up too. I get it. The Chargers offensive line isn't doing
what
great.
Offensive line for the Chiefs? What offensive line? They're
exactly.
People off of couches. You think Phillip Rivers at quarterback is a bad situation? They're literally going to have to pull out somebody who's 38 sitting on a couch.
Exactly. Yeah. These teams are evenly rated. As far as I'm concerned, I think the Chargers getting healthier, getting their rookies back and involved. I think Amari Hampton is going to lead the way in this game. And Justin Herbert, 10-inch hands. How can you bet against a guy who has 10-inch hands in an 18-degree weather game against Kansas City Chiefs who suck, who don't even want to be playing this game? They're not going to make the playoffs anyway. And their facility sucks. Their locker room sucks. Their owner sucks. Everything about the organization sucks, except for the fact that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are putting the franchise on their back over the past decade or so. Not going to happen this year. So for our best bet of the week, we're going to take the Chargers, and we're going to take them officially at plus 5.5 points on the road at Kansas City. I'm not scared at all about that one. I wouldn't mind making the Lions our best bet of the week too, but since my fandom oftentimes will skew my judgment on the team, I'm gonna refrain from picking that as our best bet of the week because these Chargers seem too Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, James.
If you're scared, go to church.
Go to church and sleep with your wife and nobody else. And that'll be our last recommendation, our last advice to you for today. My wife is due to have our beautiful baby girl here on Sunday. So we might have a beautiful slate of games to watch while my wife is pushing out this little baby out of her body. So for that reason, we will be indefinitely, once the baby comes, stopping our live streams. We won't be doing our live watch parties indefinitely. And that's the actual meaning of indefinitely, meaning we will be back at some point. When that point is, I don't know. Consider us week to week for that aspect. And when we're thinking about putting us on IR, that's what I'll say. Not sure that we're on IR, maybe on IR. We might be back for week 18. We'll see. Okay. I think we're going to keep on trying to do these gambling podcasts because we're just making these people money, James, and we can't stop making them money.
We can
So
do
I
a
might be
Invisible Ink one.
I might be holding a little baby in my arm while we give these people these free money bets next week. So stay tuned for that. And if we don't make it, if we don't get an episode out, I apologize.
I'll make it America. Don't you worry. I'll make it.
Thank you, James. Maybe James will
joy, but I'll be holding a bundle of cash as always.
Maybe James will host the show for the first time. That would be fun.
I'm saying reverse Invisible Ink episode, man. That can be plan D.
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna get you some picks next week, come hell or high water. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.